Welcome back to Lunch Break here at WSJ Live. I'm Simon Constable. The John Deere Gator has powers that could be used for evil, but could also make a dead man smile. That's what Dan Neal says, and he joins us now from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Hello, Simon.
Dan, thank you very much. You've been test driving this Gator thing. You caution that consumers should not try to trip on one of these. Tell us what your experience was.
Well, you know, the thing is that these they operate like little cars, and so the temptation is to drive them like little cars because they have such short wheelbase, narrow track, and very high speed. They're easy, and they're fast and getting faster, so they're easy to roll over. So the feds have looked at this vehicle type and is thinking seriously about mandating more roll stability, let's call it.
Roll stability would be good, and I see you have a roll cage there if you do manage to take it over. Now, you've got a certain grudge against all-terrain vehicles or off-road vehicles. Why is that? And I guess it relates to the can be used for evil. What's the problem?
Well, the problem is that, I mean, 90% of these vehicles are used for hunting and fishing and work and commercial and construction, all that. That's great. The problem comes when people take them out onto public lands and rip them up without any regard for, you know, the rules of the road. I mean, they're not allowed everywhere. And in a lot of public places, public lands, you know, there's almost no supervision, and so these things get, you know, tear up the landscape. So it's not really a machine problem; it's a user problem. It's a percentage thing. About 2 to 5% of buyers are knuckleheads.
Okay, and obviously you're not one, at least you don't think so, and I don't think we do either. But you like this one though, this particular one, this Gator. What's different about it that has you sort of very attracted?
Well, to be honest, I've never driven one of these things before. These ROVs, they're side-by-sides. I knew it was a big category. They sell about 166,000 of them a year these days. And they're toys. You know, they're built to cost off-road toys, but they're really fun. They're a lot easier to take your kids out in than an ATV. My argument in the column is that for every ATV that's a quad that this thing displaces and sails, that is a life savings, because quads are super dangerous and these things are only mildly dangerous.
Now, you're used to seeing, and we're used to seeing when we have you on, the most tricked out vehicles, the latest, greatest. That's really not the case with these in terms of the finishing and the equipment. Are they still worth it?
Oh yeah, it's interesting how much car technology has sort of found its way into this category. This thing has four-wheel disc brakes. Many of them have automatic transmissions with, some even have torque converters. Most have CVTs. They have a steering wheel. They behave a lot like cars, and there's a lot of downdraft. And the price is always under $20,000. So if you had to build one for $20,000, you know, it'd be a challenge. They're really nicely engineered for the price. They're super fun, and if you ride responsibly with a helmet and you buckle up, then you should be fine.
Okay, I think the key word there is responsibly, and don't rip up those public lands. Thank you very much, Dan Neal of the Wall Street Journal.
Thanks, Simon.
And you can read more on that in tomorrow's Wall Street Journal when you're sitting in bed with your Saturday coffee.